I see.
Yeah, and she
Uh,
goes for dance classes, so she likes the dancing as well.
oh yeah, cool. Dancing.
Yeah,
How does she dance? Like in a
in a
sitting
walker.
position in a walker.
Yes, yes.
Mm,
So last year she danced in a walker. This year we are
mm,
getting her to dance without the walker. So she's not standing and dancing, but she
mm.
is dancing in a kneeling position.
Ah, yeah. You should upload the video sometime on your
Yeah, I
page.
think,
Say his page. Mm.
when we have the Source Kids exhibition this weekend, she
Oh yeah,
might have
yeah.
a performance. I'm not sure, but if she does, then I'll put that on.
Oh, the very beginning is you found some Facebook post from other family in Sydney, right?
Yes, so there was a Facebook post of this little girl who was in the Blue Mountains, and
Mm-mm.
she was using the COGY for trekking.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That was
yeah, yeah,
awesome, eh? Yeah.
yeah, because it is multi-terrain and you can go for a trek. And we've never done a trek as a family. Like we haven't gone for bushwalk or anything because of Seher and the wheelchair. Like we used to, before
Mm,
we got the wheelchair, we were using prams, and
mm,
we never thought that we could go bushwalking or trekking. And then
mm.
when I saw the post, I was very inspired. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we should do that.
Uh,
I've also found on Facebook another page where they are accessible, where there's a list of accessible bushwalks.
oh,
So
really?
that also, I think, yeah. So they are maybe shorter. They're not as long, but
Mm-mm.
and maybe they don't have like too many pits or water crossings or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, now we get into when we get into winter time and it's a bit cooler, then I want to
Mm.
do that with the hair. Obviously, it was good that we had it for the lockdown and the COVID period because she could still continue some form of exercise and she could go cycling
Mm.
every day. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
now she's built up the stamina.
yeah.
So I think we can now go when it's a bit cool because in 2020 we also had bushfires. So
Oh,
it was not
yes.
healthy to go
Oh,
out.
yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
for activity. And then just now we've had so much of rain and there's been flooding, and also even now it's not really good. It wasn't good to
Mm.
go. But
Mm.
this year, all of this year, we've taken Kogi to the school. So
Mm.
instead of pushing her in the wheelchair to school,
So,
she cycles
every
to
morning.
school
Mm, mm,
every
mm.
morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost.
Did she use that chair in at the school as well during the
No,
class?
not at school
Mm,
because she needs help with toilet transfers
mm, mm,
and other things. And for that, we need like a wheelchair with a flat foot plate
mm, mm,
so
mm.
that she can use that for standing. With
Yeah.
Koji, we have the pedals. So
Mm.
with the pedals, we can't do the trans.
Yeah, I was thinking like lots of people say, we want to bring a corgi to school, but there is a regulation and we are not allowed, kind of thing. And then I've been thinking, what could be good for school to be more encouraged to have corgi? So, like as you said, the flat footstep, right?
Yeah, but it also depends upon what kind of school. So, like
Mm.
Seher goes to mainstream school.
Yeah, yeah.
So the help provided there is different as opposed to when you go to a special needs school where
Mm,
more physical disability kids are there, then they have more equipment and they have more
mm,
help and
mm.
more aid. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
depends
yeah,
upon the school that you're going to and what are your goals for that school.
yeah.
Like right now for our current school, they were very happy for us to leave her wheelchair at school so that we
Mm,
can
mm.
go
Oh,
cycling to school,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then we just transfer her into her regular wheelchair.
Mm, mm.
The other thing that maybe we could do is just leave the Kogi there and then she can use it at lunchtime when they have
Mm,
a 1 hour break or
mm,
something. But
mm.
for us, the goal is at lunchtime to have increased socialization
Yeah,
and
yeah,
being
definitely.
with friends and all that. So the goal is
Mm.
different.
What does she do in PE class? In a kneeling
So
position exercise? Mm.
No, in the PE class, I don't think they let her get off the wheelchair, but they do OT. So they have Play-Doh and all that, and they do a lot of finger and hand manipulation, yeah, to strengthen her writing. Sometimes she joins in the PE class, like if they are like playing ball games, then maybe she can be in her wheelchair, but she can catch, she can throw, she can be more involved. It depends upon the weather as well. If it's too hot or if it's raining, are they indoor, are they outdoor? Sometimes the PE class is in the morning, then I'll take her for therapy instead, and then she comes to school late. And now in winter time, the PE class will be in the afternoon. Then she might finish school early, and I might take her for therapy instead.
But why I'm talking about PE class is like when I go to the new place and now I have to build up my community, and then the easiest two solution is sports or music.
I think for Seher, like for kids, it would obviously be preschool and school because the neighbors have kids as well. So just the neighbors, or maybe so. So it could probably come under like activities. So you like the same activities, art class, dance class. You know, like
oh yes, after school activity, yeah.
yeah, or swimming or library, meeting up in the library. Outdoor activities. Don't forget outdoor activities, Coco.
Why? Yeah. Outdoor activity is fine. Good.
Yeah. Like I think you know how we were planning to go for the marathon in the COGY.
Oh yeah.
Like if we which got cancelled because of COVID.
Yeah. Just in order to avoid a misunderstanding, we use the word marathon not only for 42 kilometers, but we use that word for 5 kilometers as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Our marathon was 2 kilometers, I think, 2.5 kilometers.
2 kilometers. Yeah, that's marathon enough. That's marathon enough.
Yeah, so I think if we had gone for that, then again we would have, made more friends or met people with similar likes. But because it was cancelled, then it was a shame. Yeah. I think because of the marathon, like Seher was really excited, so she put in the effort. She did all her, cycling every day and going longer and further and faster. But because it was cancelled, then it was very hard for her.
Oh, was it? Oh, you said Seha gained a lot of stamina since she started. Can you explain a little bit more detail? I want to know.
When she first started COGY, if you remember, in medium size, we had to put like I think at least 2 cushions behind her to move her forward because her legs were not reaching the pedals.
Yeah.
But the more we used it, the more her technique improved, and she even gained the force to push and.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and even some range of motion increased, so we could remove some of the cushions, and she could move back a bit. And that's what I found. Like for the marathon, especially when we were training, then because I had to get her used to cycling 2 kilometers, mostly I would be pushing, and she wouldn't be doing. I mean, her legs would still be pedaling, but it's not like she is actively pushing.
Not much,
yeah, and then we found a lot of jerking. So because she's not focused on it, because she's not focused on her movement, there was a lot of jerking. And
was it? Okay.
Yeah, and the foot would come out of her shoe. So the shoe would stay on the pedal, but the foot would slide off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but now she pedals by herself. So she can like push and move by herself for the distance.
Yeah.
So when we go to school, the whole way, she will cycle by herself. I only do a little bit of maneuvering, like just a bit of guiding left and right, but she cycles by herself.
How far?
I think maybe 800 meters.
Okay, yeah. You're
I
lucky,
think
eh?
just a little bit less than a kilometer. So before it used to take her maybe 45 minutes to get to school. Now it takes
Mm.
about half an hour.
Okay.
So it's a bit
I think.
faster.
Mm.
And then when she used to go to school, she used to go really slow, like, like she would just pedal maybe 10 or 12
Mm.
pedals, and then she would have to stop and take a break and
Yeah.
then pedal
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And then every time she stopped, I think she got out of rhythm as well.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah, but now she does the whole distance, and now we call it running, but basically it means very fast pedaling. So she runs to school.
Oh my God. So you have to run, eh? You have to run
Yeah,
with her. That happens to everybody. That kids get fitter, so mother has to be fitter as well.
yeah, I have to like really
Yeah.
run behind her.
Yeah, of course you will be. You will be. It's interesting that by getting fitter, um, before that, when she was very weak, she needed two cushions behind her, but now she's okay with one cushion. It's not only because she grew taller, but because I think it's strength, isn't it? So like many user with low, tiny little strength, can we see pushing on this position is easier than pushing on this, stretched
Yeah,
position.
yeah. Yeah, so with Seher, because she has spasticity,
Mm.
so she has tight hamstring,
Yeah.
and she can't currently straighten her legs.
Mm.
So she has a bit of contracture in her knees.
Yeah.
And that is why for her, like pushing is not a problem, but
Mm.
it's more the stretching out of the leg.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
the
mm,
range of
mm,
motion. So the koji, like it helps her with her extension, because
yeah.
there are very few exercises or very few massages that we can do to straighten the leg. But
Mm,
with the kogi, like she can, if she's cycling half an hour, if she's cycling 45 minutes, it's a continuous motion, like she can keep
mm,
uh, straightening and
mm,
pushing,
mm,
and
mm.
and it's a very focused, intentional movement.
Ah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it,
Mm,
so it's not just mindless, thoughtless, but it's
mm,
a very focused and intentional movement where she is thinking about it
mm.
and it is happening. So she's making it happen, and there's a brain connection involved.
I remember you said something like, even when Sehe's on the corgi and just rocking herself, you kind of sense something. Oh, in her brain, something is connecting.
Yes, so
Mm,
sometimes that is what I like about the kogi is like if we just make her sit in it and not
mm,
like actually go anywhere, like if it's
mm,
raining or something and we just put her in the kogi
mm,
and she's watching TV, even though the
mm,
focus is on the TV,
mm,
the legs are still moving, the body is still, experiencing
mm.
deeply the movement.
Ah,
So
I
the
see.
eyes might be on the TV, the focus might be on the TV, but she's still sensing. It feels like her body is focused on the movement. And
Really?
I feel,
Mm,
yeah, and I also feel because of the spasticity that
mm,
somehow it is easier for her to stretch out her leg or have
mm.
increased range of motion when she's going backwards.
Oh, yes. Lots
So
of people say that.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So sometimes if we put her in the kogi and we are like, okay, let's go for a ride, but the legs are a
mm,
bit stiff that morning or something, then
mm,
we just practice the rocking and then we
mm.
do a bit backward and then
Yeah.
we find that, okay, she's now ready to go forward.
Do you have any tips for warming up?
Warming up, I think it actually depends upon her. So maybe like 10 minutes.
Mm,
So maybe just the rocking for a few
mm,
minutes and then just going backwards a few minutes.
mm,
Maybe up to 10 minutes.
mm.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel in terms of tips, I feel like the rocking, you know how you have your video.
Yeah.
So the same amount of rocking where you just go
Roll,
forward a little
roll,
bit
roll. Yeah.
and then you do a circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a little bit forward and then a full
Mm,
circle and
mm,
then,
mm,
just
mm,
go forward 2 steps, back 2 steps, something like that.
mm,
That makes a big difference. And I think like warming up may be like a wrong term because she's
mm,
not actually warming up. I feel like she's sitting in the kogi and she is
mm,
sensing. So it's basically just like, the brain connecting
mm.
and sensing. If I move like this, what happens? If I move like that, okay, now I'm ready to go.
Because you see with mother's eye, so you see lots more than other therapists.
So it's the same way you feel about dancing. So if you see other people dancing, you copy the
Mm,
move, you may not be as comfortable as
yeah.
when you feel the rhythm of the music and then you want to
Mm,
sway. You know
yeah.
how
Yeah.
we'll just
Yeah.
start with our head and then we'll start with the shoulders and we'll just sway a
Mm.
bit and then get into the dancing. Then go
Yeah.
crazy. Be happy in that movement, not like a forced
Uh,
movement or a difficult, hard, trialing movement, but a
mm.
happy, slow, soft, happy movement that catches rhythm and picks up, like.
I'm so glad that we talked today on like I don't know who's watching. Do you have anything else you want people to know?
Nothing much. Like if they are based in Sydney, then we are having a stall at the Source Kids Expo this weekend. So if they
Oh
want to
yeah.
come and see the Kogi and trial it for themselves, then they can come in. It's free admission. So it is at the International Convention Center near Darling Harbour on the 10th and 11th of April.
Mm.
And the timings, I think, are 10 to 5 or 10 to 4. Maybe the 10 o'clock, like if they come in at 10 o'clock, they can actually have a trial and maybe go around the
Oh
stalls
yeah.
in the Kogi.
Mm.
12 o'clock onwards, it might be busy, then they can only have a look at it, but not maybe trial it.
Mm, mm, mm. Got it.
Yeah, and maybe towards the end of the day when everyone's gone, maybe like 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 might be
Yeah,
good
yeah.
again.